Hi everyone, I'm going to take a look at the Mexican and American League pack that we recently got. It's a nominating contract pack. So let's jump straight in and have a look at who we've got. I'll start with the lowest rated. So this is the only 3-star in the pack. We've got Taylor from Inter Miami. He is a 3-star, so not surprising, he's not brilliant. To be honest, even in a 3-star squad, I've got a 3-star squad, and I don't know if he'd even get into my 3-star squad. He can play AMF, but his passing's nowhere near good enough. So you look at him as a wide left or wide right. You look at the skill set down here. He does have long range shooting, rising shots, first time shot. So he's got a shot on him. Finishing 72 is not too bad with the auto allocation. He's got pinpoint crossing as well. 74 for lofted pass. I'm just not sure he's going to have the end product, to be honest. I don't know if his passing, his crossing, or his shooting is going to be that great. Looking at the allocation of points, you could take the shooting ones away if you're going to go for the crossing. Maybe just take his finishing down to 70. One off dribbling, you really can't do a great deal. He's not got that many points. Take a bit off his balance, maybe. Still got decent acceleration. Couple off there as well. He threw up 17 points there, so then he can get his passing up to there. And then he's got 80 lofted pass. You could do that, and then maybe put the rest on finishing. You got one spare, maybe aerial. I would maybe do that. Just try and give him a bit more end product. Yeah, I think even then he's still not great, to be honest. Wide left or wide right. His crossing would be a bit better with the pinpoint crossing skill that he's got. If you want to focus more on his finishing, you could obviously take the passing back down again, maybe to there. Put the rest on his shooting there. Get his finishing up to 77. He could be passable. He could be a decent 3-star player, but beyond that, I don't think many people are going to really be going to look at this guy and be very interested in. The only thing is that he's the only 3-star in this pack, so a lot of us with a lot of 3-star contracts knocking around, I think we might pick him up because there aren't many players at that level to pick up, but I don't think he's going to be much use to anyone, sadly. Next up, we have Jones. He's a left back. It's the only position he can play. And when you look at his auto allocation, that stands out first. He's got crazy pace, so that's a positive. The stamina as well. He's got good balance, but you look beyond that for a left back, he's defensively poor. On the ball, he's got decent dribbling, but that's about it. And then his passing is poor, so he's got some real weaknesses there. So straight away, you're going to look to reallocate some of his points. I think, to be honest, when you look at his speed, he could take that all the way down to 4, and then he's still got 88 for speed and 87 stamina, and we freed up a whole bunch of points. I'll be doing that, I think, first. Maybe take 4 off there even. And then what do we do? 4 on passing. Get his passing a bit better. And aerial up to the 70 mark. And then whatever's left, put that on defending. That's what I would do, I think. Make him a bit stronger in other areas. So now defensively he's not so bad. He's passable defensively. And on the left there, he's still kind of okay on the ball. Passing is now a bit more okay, but still a bit lacking, to be honest. He's not got the electric pace anymore, obviously. That's where he sacrificed points, but he's still got decent pace and decent stamina. So yeah, he's a bit short of being a good left back. He's not brilliant. He's kind of okay, but there are 2 big problems with this guy. Firstly, he is really lacking in skills. All he's got is scissors paint, which is useless, really. He's got nothing defensively. So, interception, blocker, man marking, those types of thing. He's really lacking with the skills, and that's going to really highlight the fact he's not the best defensively. But the second issue with this guy, he can only play left back. He's right-footed, and his right foot only has medium strength and frequency. So I think when you look at the fact he's got weaknesses, he's got no skills to really make up for it, and the fact that he's going to be awkward being right-footed playing on the left, yeah, I think this guy's a hard pass for me. I just don't think he's going to be much use. So I would personally not waste your time on this guy. And then next up, got a centre-back Malanda. Can play defensive midfield, but you can't get his technicals anywhere near good enough to play there. So he's very much a centre-back. I wouldn't do much with the auto allocation, to be honest. The thing with this guy is he's just kind of an okay all-round centre-back. There's no glaring weakness. The pace is okay. Physically, and aerially he's okay. Stamina's okay. He's pretty decent, to be fair, for a centre-back. His defensive attributes, again, kind of decent. He's not great down the left, but he is a centre-back. You can't expect too much. And he is a 4-star card. as always, you've got to ignore the star rating on the cards on eFootball Hub because they're inaccurate. But yeah, he's kind of an okay centre back around. And again, you look down at the skills, he's got some important ones: man mark, interception, aerial superiority, sliding tackle. All good skills to have for a centre back, but you'd like others like blocker, acrobatic clearance, for example. So he's got some quality, but he's just a bit lacking. He's just kind of a bit short of being a good centre back across the board, really. So I think this guy really, he's only really going to be much use if you're new to the game and you really desperately need centre backs. But beyond that, I don't think he's really that great, to be honest. And then similar situation with the goalie, Blake. So not really got any glaring weaknesses again. He's 6'4", so he's got decent height, 81 jump, 82 reach. That's decent for a tall keeper. He is a bit lacking with the catching and parrying. Reflexes are good. Goalkeeper awareness 83 is not really what you want. You would like that to be a bit higher. That's really the one stat that I would want to be higher with this guy, to be honest. I'm not sure he could do much with the way that his points have been allocated, to be honest. What could you take a couple off there? Can we get his awareness up by 1? You can afford to take one off reflexes, maybe. Maybe do that. Shuffle it around a bit, but even then, he's just not brilliant. He's okay, though. I think, like with the Malanda, the centre back we just looked at, if you're quite new to the game, if you really need goalkeeper options, he could be a decent one to pick up if you've got a 4-star contract to use up. But I think for most of us, he's just not really going to be much use. And then Ferreira, quite an interesting one. This one, he's a centre forward. He can play attacking midfield or SS, but if you're looking at those positions, I think straight away you look at his passing, it's not great. Certainly as an AMF, I think it's a complete non-starter. As an SS, you'd like it to be a bit high. You could get away with it. We might have to reallocate the points a bit, but yeah, this guy he's got some strengths. He's got very good offensive awareness. His finishing's decent, great pace, really good balance and stamina. So he's very mobile, very nimble. But the thing is, he's a deep lying forward, and a deep lying forward, whether you play him at SS or centre forward, he's not going to be very aggressive with his forward runs. He's going to be dropping deep and trying to get involved in the build-up quite a lot. And when he makes his attacking runs, they'll usually be quite late runs into the box. So when you consider that, I would think he needs to be a lot better on the ball, because when you're dropping into the build-up, you're going to be carrying the ball, you're going to be holding off challenges. He's not a big guy, 173. He's not strong either. So he's going to need some technical ability to kind of compensate for that. So if you look at the way his points are allocated, you could take a bit away from dexterity, maybe take it down to 8 there. He's still got pretty good offensive awareness and balance and acceleration. I freed up a few points there. Like one of the players we looked at earlier, I don't think aerial strength is going to be that worthwhile. He's a small, weak guy. I don't think there's much use using those points and making them just a little bit less weak. So I would take those 4 points away. We've got enough now to get his dribbling up there. Put 8 on dribbling, so now he's a lot tidier on the ball. Got 8 left, put 4 on passing. I think that's important when he's dropping deep into the build-up. Where else are we going to go? Probably put one more on his pace there, and 2 left. Might as well put another one on passing. I think for a deep lying forward, that's a better build all round. Still got very good pace, balance, and stamina. The awareness is still pretty good on finishing, but now he's a bit tidier on the ball, and his passing is a bit better as well. So I think that suits him a bit better. If we look down at his skills here, this is one of the biggest concerns with this guy. Probably the biggest, the fact that he's lacking skills. Acrobatic finishing, yeah, that's nice. Track back, fair enough, you might like that. No one-touch pass, no through passing, no first-time shot. He's really lacking in skills. I think if you're going to sign this guy and really get the best out of him, you're going to need to spare quite a few skill trainers to really give him the skills that he needs. You might find he feels good, he's responsive, he's quick, he's got that offensive awareness, but I think that with that playing style and the lack of skills, I think just overall he's just a bit lacking. He just doesn't quite do it for me. So some people might like the look of him, but for me personally, I just don't think he quite makes the grade. And next we have a left winger, Araujo. I probably said that wrong. Can play left back, but he can't defend, so he can't play left back. He's a left winger. He's left-footed. He's very much an old-school left winger, cross specialist, so he's going to hug the touchline, stay out wide, and you look down at his skills here. A load of dribbly stuff and crossing. So he's very much an old-school left winger, left-footed on the left, putting crosses in. With the auto allocation, you see he's got very good pace, good dribbling. Crossing's decent, if not brilliant. Elsewhere, he's kind of okay. It's another 4-star. Most of these are 4-stars. So yeah, he's, you know, if you've been playing the game a while, if you've got some really good 5-star left wingers, he's probably not going to get in your team, but he could be a tidy option. Certainly, if we get another Mexican League challenge, it could be a useful one to have. In terms of the way the points are allocated, I personally would probably get rid of the shooting. I don't think that's too important. He's going to be staying wide on the left. The only thing you really need the shooting for is the curl on his crosses. You can afford to take one off his speed there. It gives us 7. What are we going to put that on? Beef is dribbling up a bit. Yeah, do that. I think I would do that personally. Put the remaining one on shooting. It's not a great deal you could do, but if you do that, you at least get his ball control up to the 80 mark. Dribbling at 88 is great. So he's got really good pace and dribbling. He's going to be very tidy on the ball. And like I say, his crossing is decent with the pinpoint crossing skill added. So yeah, this guy just an old school left winger, and he's not brilliant, but I think pretty tidy, pretty useful if he's your kind of thing. And then the last of the 4-stars, we've got Reynoso. So this guy is actually pretty decent. He's a creative playmaker. They've got him down as being capable of playing wide left, but he's not got good pace and he's not got pinpoint crossing. So personally, I don't see any real. I don't think he'd be good in that position. I think that's pointless. Likewise, centre mid, he can't defend, so you're not going to play him as a centre mid really. He's very much an attacking midfielder, but I do think he's a decent one. The only weakness is really not the quickest. Stamina's not great, so he's going to tire. Elsewhere though, the balance is great, acceleration is great. He's great on the ball. Really good passing as well. Offensive awareness at 80 is pretty good. Finishing's not brilliant at 70, but he's mainly going to be a playmaker, so probably not too much of an issue. If you look down at his skill set, the one you'd really like him to have is one-touch pass. So that might be a concern for you. You always like your midfielders to have one-touch pass, but he does have through passing, which is important. He's got a bunch of dribbly stuff as well, so he's going to be tidy on the ball. In terms of attributes, as I say, the lack of pace is probably the one real concern, the one real weakness. If I was going to try to address that, maybe take a few off dribbling. He's still pretty tidy on the ball. And then do that with his lower body, get his speed up. You've got 1 on defending down there. I don't see the point of that really. That frees 2 up. Stick it on shooting. Yeah, I think that's what I'd do. That's the way I'd build this guy. Not too different from the auto allocation, but it does give him a bit more pace and his stamina goes up past 80, which is very nice. So yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary. He's a pretty orthodox playmaker, really, attacking midfielder, but I think he's a pretty decent one, especially for a 4-star card, because he is a 4-star. I think for a 4-star, this is about as good as you can expect the player to be. I think he's a very tidy option, to be honest. He looks pretty decent. But then on to the 5-stars. We've got 3 5-star cards. First of them is Herrera. I've got to be honest, I think this guy is a little bit underwhelming. Looking at the auto allocation, he can only play centre mid. He's a box-to-box. He's got the stamina to back that up. He's got good passing, very good passing to back that up. But then you look elsewhere, he's not as good on the ball as I would like a 5-star centre mid to be. His defending's okay. Pace isn't brilliant. He's not the strongest physically. His balance isn't great either. You look down at the skill set, there's some decent ones there. You know, weighted pass is nice. Interception is important for a centre mid box to box. Captaincy is a nice bonus. Fighting spirit's good, but there's no one-touch pass. There's no through passing, so that's a bit of a concern. In terms of the way the points are allocated, you could afford to take a few of passing. Maybe take as many as 4 away from there. Get his dribbling a bit better. Maybe get his acceleration up to the 70 mark. 4 points left. Not sure where we put that, to be honest. Maybe on defending. Maybe do that. Yeah, maybe do that. That makes him a bit more well-rounded for me. It kind of improves him on the ball. You've sacrificed a bit on the passing, but it does improve his defending as well. So I think, like some of these other players we've looked at, if you're quite new to the game, if you need options in his position, he could be a useful player to have. But for those of us who've been playing a while, we've got strong squads. I don't think this guy's really going to offer us much more than we've already got. So for me, a little bit underwhelming for a 5-star card. Then our last 2 5-stars are both attacking players. You've got Mukhtar, who's an SS. He can play attacking midfield, but when you look at attacking midfield, as always, you look at the passing. I don't think it's quite good enough. He's not got bad passing, but 77 is really not great. I'm going to look to auto-allocate some points. So I reallocate some points there. But even then, I don't think it'd be good enough for AMF. So I think he is very much an SS. He's a deep line forward again, like Ferreira. So he's going to be kind of loitering around behind the attack. He won't be very aggressive with his attacking runs. You're going to have to use him as a kind of a playmaker, almost like a second striker. So just having a look down at his skill set here. He does have long range shooting, dipping shot, acrobatic finishing, first time shot. He's got some good shooting skills, and he's got through passing. It would be nice if he had one touch pass, but unfortunately he doesn't. But through passing is a good skill to have for someone playing in that area of the pitch. And like I say, good shooting skills. And then you look up here, finishing 79, the low pass 77. They're both kind of lacking a little bit. It would be nice to get them up to the 80 mark. So let's just have a little look, see if we can do that. Where can we take points? I mean, dribbling's the one area he's strongest. If we sacrifice a bit of that, take a few off there. We need 3 more on passing. That gets the passing to 80. 1 more shooting. Bang, done it. There we go. I think that's a better build. His pace is okay. It's decent. Balance is good at 87. Stamina's pretty good for an attacking player. Then down the left, he's still good on the ball there. 90 for ball control is fantastic. And now 80 for low pass, 80 for finishing. That's going to help to really make the most of the fact he's got good shooting skills down here, and obviously through passing as well. So yeah, he's a little bit different. Someone in that position is very much an SS. You can do a bit of playmaking. He can certainly shoot when he gets into shooting positions. He's not going to be for everyone, but I think he's quite an interesting one. He's a little bit different, and I think some people might find this guy quite handy. And then finally, Berterame. Yeah, so dummy runner. This guy is a bit different. There aren't that many 5-star dummy runners. On the position chart, centre forward SS. It's also got right wing, but I'm going to immediately rule that out. This guy can't pass or cross. So for me, as a right-footed player without the ability to cross or to really pass, you're not going to play him wide right. I think that'd just be a complete waste. He won't be effective there. So as a dummy runner, he's going to perform a similar role in both these positions. A dummy runner is basically going to make a lot of runs from the centre out into wide positions, which in terms of what he's doing himself might not be particularly useful at times, but what that does is it creates spaces in the centre for your other attacking players. So it really depends a lot, probably more than most play styles, on what formation you're playing, what system you're playing, which other players you've got in attacking areas, because if you use the right kind of system, it can be a very effective play style. So as a dummy runner, making those runs into wide positions, the first thing I noticed on his attributes, his pace could be a bit better. Stamina as well. I'd like them to get to the 80 mark, because speed is what obviously determines how quick he's going to run off the ball, and then stamina, of course, is going to determine how quickly he gets tired making those runs. So looking at his acceleration being fantastic, offensive awareness being really good, balance might not be brilliant, but I think that's the one area we could really sacrifice a few points. They put 12 on there, so if we take 4 off there for a start, again, the balance might not be brilliant, but we're still pretty good with acceleration and offensive awareness. We've got a few extra points now, so if we start by getting his speed up to the 80 mark, and that brings kicking power and stamina up to 80 as well, which is good. Again, I mentioned with aerial strength, he's a fairly small, weak guy. I don't think it's the most efficient way to use those 4 points, just make him a bit less weak. You're not going to really notice that, in my opinion. So we can take those 4 points as well. Let's get his dribbling up. So there we get his dribbling right up to 87, which is nice. So with those dummy runs, he's not always going to end up getting on the ball when he makes those runs, but when he does get on the ball, that's going to help. And with that extra speed as well, we've still got 6 points. Let's just put 4 points onto lower body, because that gets us up to the 8 mark there. So now he's 82 for speed, even better. 2 points left. We'll stick him on passing. That for me is a better build for Berterame. I think that makes him pretty tidy. Obviously got very good dribbling now. Still got pretty decent offensive awareness. His finishing at 87 is good. It's very good. And then he's a bit quicker as well. He's nice and mobile. Better stamina as well. You look down at his skill set here. He's tidy on the ball. He's got heading. Now, he's not a big, strong guy, so he's not going to be winning many headers when a defender's challenging him. But if you get a ball into the box and he gets a free header when he's unmarked, he can head it. 72 for heading there is the heading attribute, so he can head the ball. But then more importantly, first time shot and one touch pass. Pretty tidy. Track back. Some people like that, some people don't. He's going to be tracking back quite a bit. Can be helpful. 82 stamina helps in that regard. But yeah, first time shot or one touch pass. Useful. Very useful skills. He's a bit different. Like I say, he's a dummy runner. The movement of players like that will be a bit different, and depending how you build him, I personally would go for this. He's quick. He's tidy on the ball. Bit of everything really. I think he's a neat little player. And if you've got a 5-star contract to use up and you're not sure to put it on, I think certainly a lot of us won't have a dummy runner. So it's nice to have different options, something to give us a bit different to the other players that we've got. So he could be a good option for you. So there you go. Hopefully I've given you some ideas on how to use your nominating contract if you've got some to use. Thank you for watching. As always, I'll see you next time.